Sanibonani molweni Ntomelanga. Namhlanje ngifuna ukukhuluma ngento ebucayi. Ibucayi nje, but it's affecting our well-being. It's affecting impilo yethu as abantu generally. You know, sometimes kuthiwa knowledge is power. If ungazi lutho, izinto eziningi ngeke uze ukwazi ukuthi uzi-understand nangendlela ezenzeka ngayo. Excuse me. But-ke siyabonga ukuthi esikhathini esiphila kusona we are able to make some researches to Google and find ezinye izinto nobe ngabe kuthiwa zange siye esikolweni, but if you go to Google sometimes you are able to obtain or to get ezinye izinto ezifana ne-information and to get even a meaning or understanding ezinye zezinto. I just wanted to say you know, njengoba ngibhekane with this case yakwa-Humble yokuthi kufrizwe imali, actually I didn't commit any offense if uyibheka naturally, mawuzoyibheka nje ngokobuntu siphila siyabantu and sikhule siyabantu ababambisanayo nabantu abalekelelayo. I'm talking about abantu abasaziyo ke ispirit of ubuntu ukuthi kuthiwa umuntu ngabantu, yabona, let alone isystem yemali or isystem yaka-finance, ngoba isystem yaka-finance is controlled by one family and it's controlled by one family nje, control amaJuda. Even though nje abantu bekhuluma yonke into bethi uJesu iJuda kwashaka cima uJesu abamfuni, but le mali le esisebenzisayo or currencies are controlled by one family, ifamily ekuyi-Jewish family, ifamily yakwa Rothschilds. So I will go through an article that I found Google after ngathola i-background 2020 or 2019 if I'm not mistaken, kwenye yama-course esasi-attendile ekhuluma about ama-Bitcoin, ekhuluma about ama-currencies, ukuthi imali icontrolwa ifamily eyi-one, and you can see ngempela ukuthi imali it's been controlled by one family because it's controlled by one family because even la eSouth Africa ngeke uma engabe eSouth Africa ibinawo amandla ukuthi iprinte imali kuthiwe iSouth Africa ayinayo imali, okukhombisa ukuthi there are people abanamandla to print imali. Bayazi ukuthi okay, ngenyanga noba ngonyaka sizoprint imali engaka and then we will supply lelo lizwe ngemali engaka. Should leyo mali iphela bengakwazanga ukuthi bakhave zonke izinto, definitely kuzomele benze njani? Kuzomele benze i-loan noma baboleke imali ukuthi sibenze njani, sibanikeze, sizobasuplya, kodwa ukubasuplya kwethu bazoboleka, ngamanye amazwi abanayo imali. This thing it tells us ukuthi imali ayiprintwa eSouth Africa but iprintwa abroad noba iprintwa phesheya, and kunabantu abathize ababekiwe to print imali, and imali makuthiwa iyasuka lapho iza eSouth Africa, they know each and every note ukuthi nansi serial number yayo, and they know when they dispatch or uma bekhipha imali ukuthi sikhiphe imali engaka. That's why you'll find ukuthi abantu abayenza ama-fake bayaboshwa because they duplicating ama-serial numbers emali osezisuke sezikhishiwe. Ngamanye amazwi akuyona imali yangempela leya, even though iphepha lifana nalo but i-value akuyona, because imali it's not iphepha but imali it's a spirit, or imali into ongeke uze uyibone but iphepha le representa imali. So I just want to go through an article le engiyibonile and engithinte kakhulu ngaze ngasho ngathi okay, now I know and understand ukuthi even if ukuthi ugovernment uyangibopha noba even if ugovernment uyasicindezela noba uyasivimba ukuthi singabi nayo i-access okanye sisiza abanye abantu ukuthi babe financial free, it's not because of amandla abanawo amandla, but they are controlled by one certain family, ifamily yakwa Rothschilds. Bacontrolwa iyona le family because le family lena iyona enama central bank. When we talk about i-central bank, we're talking about like or federal, we're talking about or reserve bank. To give you a definition of a central bank and functions ayo, a central bank controls the supply of money as well as how it reaches the consumer. It can not only print and inject money into the economy, but also regulate commercial banks' distribution of it. The central bank controls monetary policy, which includes power over inflation, exchange rates, and the money supply. So lezo zinto uzozi-understanda kahle if umuntu ofocuse kakhulu kwa-economy nomuntu ofocuse kakhulu kwi-trading, especially those people othola ukuthi uma betrade abatrade with ama-fundamentals. Okuveza ukuthi this family yakwa-Rothschilds inama-central bank kumazwe amaningi. Mangithi nama-central banks, which means ibona abacontrola iy'mali zamazwe ngamazwe. Because kule article engizoyifunda you will notice ukuthi kuvela ukuthi in 2001 only 7 nations in the world did not have Rothschild's controls bank. Bayawabala, and you will hear ukuthi kuloma nations awu-7 South Africa ayikho, okukhombisa ukuthi before 2001 we were already under i-umbrella yani yakwa-Rothschilds family. So this article engizoyifunda, it's written by uDonald V. Watkinson. Ipublishwe ngo-December 27, 2019, ya-updatewa ngomhla ka-18 April 2021. So i-title yayo ithi The Rothschilds Controlling the World's Money Supply for More Than 2 Centuries. When we talk about ama-century, i-century is a period of 100 years. So makuthiwa more than two centuries, kukhulunywa ukuthi they were controlling or they are controlling the money supply for more than 200 years. Yeah, more than 200 years this family becontrola imali yomhlaba, and even now they still controlling imali. Ngamanye amazwi thina sicontrolwa ifamily eyi-1. Asicontrolwa ugovernment wethu wase-South Africa, because ugovernment wase-South Africa nawo ucontrolwa ile family. Why ngithi ucontrolwa ile family? I-World Bank, ibhenki lamazwe ngamazwe, licontrolwa ile family. Uzothola umlando uma ngiqhubeka with the article yale family le. Yeah, so ngizoyifunda nje le article inde, kodwa nje uzo understand izinto eningi, and ngizocela ukuthi ningixolele sometimes if ukufunda kwami kungazwakali kahle hle, because amanye amagama othola ukuthi I think mhlawumbe athathwe kwi-Jewish ngoba akona amagama ajwayelekile kwi-English. So ithi the Rothschilds have been in control of the world's money supply for more than 2 centuries, more than 200 years. Yet most Americans and other countries or other people have not ever heard of them. Even e-America abanye abantu abakaze bayizwa, abantu abaningi abayazi lento le. The family's business empire encompasses a diverse range of business interests, including investment banking, asset management, mergers and acquisitions, mining, energy mixed farming, wineries, and charities. amabhizinisi abanawo ke lawo. So the Rothschilds are a family of Jewish financiers, which means abantu abasezimalini. The family's emergence in the world of high finance started with Mayer Amschel Rothschild, owayezalwe ngo-1744 washona ngo-1812, oyi-founder of and a moneylender at Frankfurt am Main, a financial advisor ngo-1801. Financial advisor 1801 e-Landgrave of Hesse-Kassel. Waphinde waba yi-agent of British government in subsidizing European sovereigns in wars against Napoleon. So uMayer Amschel Rothschild waba namadodana awu-5, and amagama abo Amschel Mayer, ozalwe ngo-1773 to 1855, who succeeded his father as the head of the Frankfurt establishment. Indodana yesibili noSolomon Mayer, who founded a branch in Vienna, Austria. Mese kuba uNathan Mayer, who founded a branch in London. Kube uCarl Mayer, who founded a branch in Naples, Italy, and okugcina kube uJames or uJacob, who founded a branch kuphi eParis. So you can see ukuthi bafounda ama-branch kumazwe ngamazwe. So the Rothschild family was the dominant power in European investment banking and brokerage in the 19th century. When we talk about someone who dominant, we're talking about someone who is having an authority, which means this family was having an authority in European investment banking kwi-19th century, which means ngabo 19 banibani ke laba. Family members held seats in parliament, in the House of Lords. They became barons in London. So they became barons, baba abantu aba-rich. Makuthiwa baron is someone rich. And they founded the Rothschild Natural History Museum ngo-1892. By 1815, uNathan Mayer, one of amadodana kalo baba lowa owaqala yonke lento le, controlled the Bank of England and boldly declared, ngifuna ukuthi nizwe lento le ngalesikhathi econtroller iBank of England. Ngicela nisibambe le statement and sibalekile, and futhi lo muntu lo you can see ukuthi uyadelela noba uyazi ukuthi unamandla bekho zomthinta. Uthi I cannot what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire on which the sun never sets. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply. So uyezwa lento le makhuluma umuntu ipuppet, makuthiwa ipuppet, it's a small doll or a figure moved by strings or by the operation hands, which means makuthiwa yena mighty I cannot what puppet is placed upon the throne. Uthi no uregada umuntu obekwe lapha to become a person in charge, noba a president, umregada as a puppet, which means it's a doll, unosituli. Uthi I cannot what a puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire on which the sun never sets. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply. So this became the Rothschilds' mantra: control the world by controlling the world's money supply. So kwaba yinto yabo, and futhi bayisebenzisa ekuthenini umhlaba wonke bazosebenzisa lento le ukuthi abanandaba ukuthi ubani obekiwe lapha, which means labantu ababekwe lapha babekwe njengonosidoli abacontrolwayo, but abantu abacontrol imali obani ibona abacontrol imali. Sisho kanjalo statement esaphuma ngo-1815 sikhitshwa uNathan Mayer okuyindodana yakhona kale family le. So ingithinte kakhulu lento le, ingithinte kakhulu, and you can see ukuthi kwenzeka exactly lento leya bayisho, which means they lay a foundation upon that statement ukuthi nobe ngabe ubani umuntu obekwayo ukuthi abuse noba abe president noba abe yini, kodwa ibona abenza njani, abacontrola imali ngoba ibona abasupplyayo imali. By the end of 19th century, the Rothschild family controlled half of the world's wealth. Kuthe makuphela o-19 bani labe i-19th century, 100 lokuqala lokama-19s, and then bese becontrol half womcebo womhlaba wonke, uhalf. So now singene kule gaining control of America's money supply, laba ukuthi bagena ke control ukuthi baba supply i-America plus namanye amazwe. In 1791, i-Rothschild family gained control of America's money supply through Alexander Hamilton, the family's agent in George Washington's cabinet. When the family established a central bank in U.S., named the First Bank of the United States, which received a 20-year charter from a Congress in 1791. When a Congress refused to renew a charter in 1812, Rothschild threatened the U.S. with a most disastrous war with Britain. Babasabisa ngempi, the U.S. stood firm. Following through on their threat, a second war broke out between the U.S. and Britain. The British war effort was financed by the Rothschild. When the war ended in 1815, U.S. finances were in shambles. So you can see these people ukuthi banama powers basabisa abantu bathi mabeqina laba befasa ekhanda babe invading into kwabakhona impi. Leyo mpi leyo yayikade yenze njani, yayifinance yibona iyona le family le, which means bathatha amandla ngendluzula nangamandla ukuthi bona they've got imali. By 1816, Congress passed a bill authorizing a second Rothschild dominated central bank with a 20-year charter, named the Second Bank of America. This bank gave the Rothschilds control of America money supply again. Bavena amandla aloke khuphuka nje, aloke khuphuka lamandla akhuphuka to this family phela. In 1823, the Rothschild took control over financial operations of the Catholic Church worldwide. Ngo-1823, bacontrol imali zesonto lamaRoma, wonke amaRoma, umhlaba wonke jikelele, imali yabo icontrolwa yini? Yile family kaRothschild. If you are belonging emaRomeni, imali yeni yonke icontrolwa ifamily eyi-1, yilamaJuda lawa akaRothschild, umhlaba wonke worldwide. Mangabe nje uthi wena uyi-Catholic, imali yeni yonke icontrolwa ifamily yakaRothschild. In 1832, President Andrew Jackson led a successful effort by Congress to retake control of America's money supply from the Rothschild by refusing to renew the charter of the Second Bank of America. Not until 1913 would the Rothschild be able to set up their third central bank in America. Wazama Andrew Jackson ukuthi retake, kodwa wagcina engakwazanga ukuthi aphumelele. In the meantime, beginning in 1875, the Rothschilds, acting through their New York banking partner, Jacob Schiff, at banking house of Kahn, Loeb and Co., financed John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil Company, Edward Herman Railroad Empire, and Carnegie Steel Empire using Rothschild's money. So lama companies amaningi lawa uthola ukuthi asetshenziswa banobudlelwane with this family, and then bakwazi ukuthi bagene amandla ngoba basebenzisa abanye abantu. So the Rothschild also helped New York finance uJP Morgan and the Drexel and the Beatlers of Philadelphia establish European branch of their respective bank in exchange for allowing the Rothschilds to control the banking industry in New York and therefore America. So bangena ngabantu aba empowers, bafike uma bebengena ngabo bafike babasiza, uma bebasiza then bazoba ne control upon imali yalelo zwe noba lelo lizwe lelo. Bangena eNew York bengena through ubani JP Morgan. In 1913, the Rothschild established their last and current central bank in America, the Federal Reserve Bank. Those people who are doing the trading, they know ukuthi each and every month kube khona ama-speech ayenziwayo kwi-Federal Reserve Bank. I-Federal Reserve Bank ifana nani? Ifana ne-South African Reserve Bank eSouth Africa. It's a central bank, njengoba ngeke ngachaza umsebenzi we-central bank ukuthi uchaza ukuthini. This is independent bank, regulates and controls America's money supply, monetary policies, even though the Federal Reserve is overseen by a board of governors appointed by the President of the United States. The bank's real control still resides with the Rothschild family. Not even President Donald Trump can break the Rothschild. Trump. Even the current president akanawo amandla that he can grip or angashintsha indlela ekwenziwa ngayo kwi-Federal Reserve Bank. That family even namanje isa-dominator, iyona esaphethe i-Feds, Federal Reserve Bank. So the Rothschild family banking business pioneered internationally high finance during the industrialization of Europe and America. Rothschild Bank financed railway system around the world. They also financed the construction of the Suez Canal in Egypt. Additionally, Rothschild's family capital founded De Beers in 1888, which is the largest diamond mining company in the world. De Beers iyaziwa ke labantu abadila with ama-mining bayazi that company mining company. Umhlaba wonke icontrolwa yini noba iphethwe yini? Iphethwe ile ya family yaka Rothschild. In 1987, Edmond the Rothschild created the World Conservation Bank to gain control of the land in third world countries, which represented percent of the land surface of the earth. Uyabona ngo-1987 omunye wamadodana wakhona wa-create i-World Conservation Bank. When we talk about the conservation is the protection of natural resource and the environment. Ngamanye amazwi wa-create i-World Conservation Bank ngenhloso yokuthi bafuna ukuprotecta ama-natural resources ne-environment. Bazoba namandla kuma-resources okuwama-commodities u-30% of the land surface of the earth, which means u-70% bukwadosa ongekho esandleni sabo, kodwa u-30% unjani uphethwe ibona. The bank assumes the debts of these countries in exchange for real estate that is conveyed to the bank. Asivezele ukuthi amaphi lamazwe lawo uthola ukuthi befola under to that 30%. It may happen ukuthi South Africa was also fall under kuwona lo 30% lawo. So in 1992, former Federal Reserve Board Chairman Paul Volcker became chairman of the European banking firm J. Rothschild World Finance and CO. So former another lento ke European bank firm ke ebizwe ngegama leliya okhona khona futhi the family. Ngo-1995, the Rothschilds control an estimated 80% of the world's uranium reserves, thereby giving the family a monopoly over a nuclear. So ngo-1995 bathola amandla ke. When we talk about monopoly, we're talking about exclusive possession of right to do something. Bathola u-80% ukuthi babe namandla over in nuclear. And then by 2001, only 7 nations, only 7 nations in the world, China, Iran, Afghanistan, North Korea, Sudan, Cuba, Libya. Those countries did not have Rothschild's controlled central banks. Yabona awu 7 ayibalwe South Africa ukuthi nayo ibikade ingenalo i-central bank econtrolwa yini i-Rothschild. Okusho ukuthi before 2001 okanye masifika ku-2001 eSouth Africa already ibisicontrolwa yini i-Rothschild i-central bank okuyini i-Reserve Bank, i-South African Reserve Bank. So excuse me, ngo-2001 lamazwe awu-7 ebengaka did not have Rothschild controlled central banks. So Until May 5, 2004, the price of gold was fixed twice a day at N.M. Rothschild and Sons in London by the world's main bullion houses. So, about 2004 angithi. So in 2006, the Edmond de Rothschild Barquet, a subsidiary of Europe, Edmond de Rothschild Family Bank in France, became the first foreign bank to gain access to the Chinese market. Ngo-2006 bakwazi ukuthi bangene kwi-Chinese market. 2001 bebengenayo access kwi-China, kodwa ngo-2006 bakwazi ukungena. So the Rothschild's domination of the world's financial markets continues to this day. Kuze kube namhlanje this family ibona abadominatayo to the world's financial market. Masikhuluma ngemali, imali iphethwe yibona, ilawulwa ile family yakwa Rothschilds. Makuthiwa South Africa iboleke imali ku-World Bank, that World Bank is controlled by this family. Le mali ebolekwe eSouth Africa ku-World Bank yaphinde yathatha yazonikeza abantu 350. Imali eyisikweleti isazobuyela back eSouth Africa kuzomela ikhokhe. So if wena uqhamuka with something ezokwenza ukuthi abantu babe financial free, abantu babe ne-access ekuthenini emalini, bangayoboleka imali emabhenki, bangenzi ama-loan, bangakweleti, bangenzi zonke lezo zinto lezo, amabhenki azowa ekuweni kwamabhenki, which means le family le izo experience ukusafara kancane because ibona ababenefitayo through lamabhenki, ibona abacontrola ama-reserve bank, ama-central bank. So if abantu kuthiwa right now they do not have izikweleti zamabhenki, ababeki imali zabo emabhenki, yonke lonto le, which means amabhenki amaningi angagcina sevaliwe. Ukuvalwa kwamabhenki uyehla ini amandla noba imali bazoshayeka le family. Therefore ukuze le family iqhubeke ibe in power, ukuze le family iqhubeke ibe nemali kakhulu, banale system le yokuthi nanka amabhenki, lamabhenki azo-operate kanje. Uma le mabhenki operate kanjena, we know ukuthi kuyoze kufike isikhathi sokuthi umhlaba uyaphela. Mangabe uyaphela, thina as ifamily yaka-Rothschild ngeke size sibe poor. Why ngisho kanjalo? Because if you are a person who's working under a government, they want you to produce or to come with your pay slip, 3 months pay slip, and that is a security ukuthi uyasebenza, and they will calculate ukuthi okay, you will get a loan ka 24 months or 48 months, noba so certain months you will be paying imali engaka. By doing that bayazi bona ukuthi bazokwenza imalini ngawe, and bayayithatha le mali bayatrader and benza amamiliyoni usuku nosuku. Imali ebekwe ebank bayayisebenzisa leyo mali benza imali eningi. Le mali leya kwaHambule nama-private accounts afriziwe, not ukuthi leya mali ihleli nje kuphela lapha, ayihleli, bayayisebenzisa from 2019 bebeyisebenzisa le mali, batrader ngayo. Njengoba betrader ngayo bayazi ukuthi icase pending and mina I've been suspended to use le mali, and they making a lot of money ngale mali, lama millions abafakela ama-millions. And then if kuyenzeka kuthiwa i-city state siyayiforfeita le mali, siyayithatha wena Zolani, ukuyithathwa kwabo le mali bayithatha nje bafuna ukuthi bazoyisebenzisa, and kade vele beqalile ukuyisebenzisa. Njengoba benza yonke lento lena, aba-protect i-state but they protecting i-relationship abanayo with this family, and bona they become ama-puppet, njengoba esho loya mfana loya to i-statement sakhe uma ethi njengoba kade ngisifundile lesa statement ngizophinde ngisifunde futhi, uthi I cannot what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire on which the sun never sets. Uyabona, ngamanye amazwi, I cannot what puppet is placed upon the throne of sokuthi nobe liphi ilizwe to rule the empire okanye abe president uthi nje I cannot. The man who controls the world's money supply controls the world's empire, and I control the British money, which means manje masithatha sifaka kwifamily ithi ke ifamily yaka Rothschild, we cannot, what puppet is placed upon a president or an authority of the country to rule the country on which the sun never sets. The family who controls the world's money supply controls the world's empire, and we control the world's money supply. So that is the statement noba i-foundation elewe ifamily yakwa Rothschild. So thina njengabanye nje sisenkingeni ukuthi asinayo amandla upon imali ngokwefamily yakwa Rothschild. If wena usiza abantu noba uvula amehlo abantu, you are not committing an offense to the state, but you are committing an offense to one family of which abayivezi but baveza i-state, ngoba even the state they fall under this family, they fall under i-system or i-strategy noba indlela ebekwe ile family le. This family they set up a charter othola ukuthi even ama-president they fail to retake or to break that charter, and bahlezi be in powers. Right now, as I'm facing these allegations of what I was doing a Ponzi scheme and so forth, state they are fighting they making sure ukuthi at the end of the day uZolani akaphumeleli, at the end of the day uZolani funeke angabe umuntu oyiwinayo le case. We will raise ama-regulations, we will raise izinto ezizokwenza ukuthi eventually thina as i-state singazohlulwa umuntu oyedwa, ngoba nathi we are controlled as a state by this family. This family is very powerful. This family iphatha umhlaba wonke. Therefore, we can't let down this family because of this person owuzolani phansi wakaphansi esingamazi nokuthi uvelaphi. We can't allow this person oqhamuka manje yethi ifamily yaka Rothschild ina more than two centuries, more than 200 years i-control yemali. Sivumele this person ukuthi azoshintsha our system, ukuthi azoshintsha indlela thina esenza ngayo as ifamily. Therefore, thina as ifamily yaka Rothschild sina more than 200 years senza lo msebenzi wemali, to control imali. We cannot allow this person esingamazi nokuthi uvelaphi, we cannot allow this person ongenagama to change our strategy, to change our system, to control imali yomhlaba. We will never allow that. Therefore, when South Africa, your responsibility is to make sure that you stop this person, you stop this harm or this low person ozolani phansi ukuthi ayenze lento yakhe. Makangayenzi lento le, because if ayenza lento lena, which means retake nobuthatha amandla phezukwethu, of which thina as i-Rothschild sihlule o-government abaningi, sihlule ama-president amaningi. So ungubani yena lo Zolani ukuthi angazoshintsha abantu base-South Africa yethi thina sikwazi ukuthi sishintshe amazwe o-America, sishintshe umhlaba wonke. Wena South Africa, your mandate and your responsibility is to make sure that you stop this person. We will not allow you, wena South Africa, ukuthi uzohlulwa ulo muntu. Thina as uRothschild Rothschild family ekuyithina siphethe umhlaba wonke financially, ngeke sikuvumele. Failing to do that, wena South Africa uzozazi ukuthi umi kuphi when it comes to the world's finance and when it comes to a relationship nathi. If uzofeyila ukuthi ugobe this person okuthiwa uzolani phansi. So ikanjalo nje lonto leyo, ngithi mangiveze nje ebantwini ukuthi nobe ngabe kwenzakalani kumazwe ngamazwe, nobe ngabe kwenzakalani eSouth Africa, nobe ngabe umongameli wethu angathembisa asho zonke izinto, kodwa ekugcineni kosuku we are controlled, or they are controlled by one family, okuyifamily yakwa-Rothschild. Iyona econtrola imali zamazwe ngamazwe. Ngiyabonga.